Are we okay? We got to fucking... We've got to do the fucking shit that we for fucking drug abuse. No! Are you listening?
Cornville, Maine. A place of beauty. A place of mystery. A place, well, of horror. It was the 11th grade, and a girl named Jane. She had a boyfriend, a loving family. Little did she know, she would soon have a stalker. It was after a gym class. She was at her locker, speaking with her friends, and she noticed out of the corner of her eye, a young man, looks like a melted ice cream cone, and Freddy Krueger had a baby. He was beaming from ear to ear, and in his hands was something shiny, something metallic. The light reflected off of it. It was almost blinding. He approached her, and a very loud voice said, "Hi, Jane. I have something for you." He extended his arm uncomfortably into her face, opened his grubby little fingers, and inside of it was a crumpled up silver bracelet. She reluctantly extended her hand, and he dropped it in it, and then walked away without saying another word. She took it, put it in her locker, and waited for the opportune time to give it back. She didn't even have a chance. 2 hours later, the young man approached her and asked her what she was doing after school. He asked what she was doing after school. She said band practice. He said, "That's okay. I don't mind waiting." And with a creepy smile on his creepy little face, he waited outside. Someone let her know he was there, and the band director walked her out to her parents' car. The young man, confused, was following in tow, but before he could speak to her, the car pulled away. Looking in the rearview mirror, she must have seen the young man staring at her intently, not moving, until the band director whisked him on his way. The next morning, he was there, at her locker waiting, asking her if she liked the bracelet, and asking her what she was doing for lunch. Would she sit with him? She said no, she had things to do, and intentionally skipped lunch and ate outside at a place she thought was safe. But nowhere is safe from this young man. And the young man, named Lorne Armstrong, found where she was sitting, went out, sat down beside her. She got up and went inside and sat with her friends. The young man came inside and sat at another table and just stared, made the girl uncomfortable, until she finally got up and went to her next class. This would go on for a few days, until finally she spoke to her brother, who was a senior, and he was on the football team. So one of his friends agreed to be her boyfriend. That didn't stop the young man. He found out she was dating and became frustrated and confused because he didn't understand why she would cheat on him. She would try to give the bracelet back on many occasions, even going as far as slipping it in his locker. But every time she came back to hers, it would be there. Finally, her fake boyfriend decided he would wear it and modified it so it would fit. Seeing this, the young man named Lorne Armstrong told him he would sue him if he didn't give his property back. Lorne was slammed up against the locker, told to leave her alone. But that wouldn't stop him, because notes would be left inside of her locker through the slits. She would give them to her fake boyfriend, who would confront Lorne Armstrong. Turns out Mr. Armstrong didn't care whether or not she was seeing somebody else. He didn't care if he was a big man on the football team. They were together. They were destined to be together. She just didn't know it yet. This continued until finally Lorne's mom was called to school, and the counselor, the principal, The mom, the girl, and the Armstrong family all had a come to Jesus meeting. Lorne explained that they were together and that the only reason the girl was dating the football player was to make him jealous. This didn't sit well with the girl's mother. Finally, they came to an agreement that Lorne Armstrong would leave the girl alone. The bracelet went home with his mom. 2 weeks later, breaking up with her fake boyfriend and coming to her locker and looking inside was a note folded up, and when opened, the bracelet fell out. It was a love letter from Mr. Armstrong. Lorne's mom was called back into school, and again he was reprimanded. Lorne was watched closely to make sure he would no longer terrorize this girl. It ended, but for about a month, this woman experienced the horror that is Lorne Lynn Armstrong. Let this be a lesson to you. Avoid this man at all costs.